shooting stars align. And I've been waiting all these seasons for rain to make our lives feel even. And now
Hey amigas, this is Sandy. I hope you guys are enjoying my series lately. I've been pretty much posting a video every single day. I'll be posting it for 12 days in a row, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I have been having some upload issues, so I don't know if there's going to be like 2 videos per day. It really depends on how my schedule works, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. It is cozy season, which means one thing and only one thing: staying home and reading books. Honestly, I feel like during the holidays, during wintertime, during just the cozy season, I'm all about staying home and reading a good book. And I feel like right now my TBR list is just getting larger and bigger. So let's talk about books while drinking some of my homemade chai. A book that I'll be reading this holiday season is Iron Flames by Rebecca Yarros. So I'm actually already reading this. I'm like about a quarter in, and honestly, I'm already obsessed. I think I read the first book in probably like 2 days. I was extremely obsessed with that book, and now that I'm in Iron Flames, I'm really loving it so far. I know there's been a lot of controversy about this book online just because people are talking about how, oh, like the book industry is becoming like fast fashion, etc., etc. But honestly, I'm obsessed with this book. I really enjoy it, so that's all that matters. I'm also re-listening to acotar. Now, I think I finished up to like the second book in the series, but I found out that acotar actually has like graphic audiobooks, and when I found that out, I was like, girl, I am re listening to the first 2 books before I start the third one because I honestly feel like graphic audiobooks are such my vibe. Like, just the idea of listening to it and it almost sounds like a movie in your head. I just love that. I really, really love that, especially with all the sound effects and, like, I don't know, and the different voice changes. I really like that. My third book in my TBR list is Check and Mate by Hazelwood. I have read previous books from Hazelwood. I believe it's called like The Love Hypothesis or something like that. And I feel like her books are very much like, I don't want to say like realistic. For example, Love Hypothesis is about like a girl who's getting, I believe, her PhD and ends up like falling for, I believe, the teacher assistant or something. You know what I mean? Like those type of like setting situations, not like fairies and magic, if you know what I mean. Now, I believe Check and Me is a YA book, is a young adult book, and it kind of focuses on the main character girl, Mallory, I think is her name, who ends up loving chess. She was like in the tournament, she was like in the spotlight, ends up leaving it for some reason, maybe family situation or some family related, and then ends up going back because of some sort of charity event. And she ends up meeting her previous rival who I guess won against her in a previous tournament, and it's kind of like enemies to lover in a way. I honestly, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of like stereotypical YA like books, but I do like Ali Hazelwood, so that's one of the reasons why I'm like, okay, let me give this a chance and see how it is. A lot of people really like it. There's like a 4 out of 5 rating on Goodreads, so I'm hoping I like it too, but we'll see. Now, I've also been reading The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Now, Ashley Poston, I feel like is definitely very much like YA vibes, but there's just something about her books that are just like a little bit more special and a little bit more fun because it kind of like mixes like fairy tales into her books, if that makes sense. So I believe one of her books was like Bookish in the Beast or something like that, and like just by like the title's theme, it's like Bella and the Beast kind of vibe. So this book, The Dead Romantic, I'm actually like 90% done with it, and I'm probably in the last few chapters, and honestly it is just so freaking cute. I love the whole like ghost vibe of the book. The female main character, I believe, is a ghostwriter. She's writing a book for like someone else, even though it's actually hers. In a way, it's almost like she has like a pen name, but no one really knows that she's the one writing her books. And she like pretends to be like the manager of the author, even though she is the author. And she ends up getting a new boss, and the new boss is like, hey, you got to get your book done in like this certain amount of time. Let your author know. If she doesn't, like, we might basically kick her out of this publishing company. And of course, she's like freaking out because she's having like a writer's block, and it's just really hard. And then, of course, something happens, a tragic incident happens in her family. So she has to basically leave the big city to go back to her small hometown and get, her family situation basically solved. And it's really sad, honestly. That part, it kind of made me tear up. And then like while she's there, she finds out that basically um her boss is a ghost, but not really. I'm not going to go more into detail because I don't want to spoil it, but it's all in the synopsis, so I'm not really giving out much. But like, yeah, I feel like it's such a cute book, and maybe with like the whole like ghost thing, you're probably thinking like, oh, isn't that more Halloween? But honestly, it's really cute and cozy, and I really love Ashley Poston's book, so highly recommend that if you like those type of books. Another series that I've been really loving and I'm currently reading actually is called A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I had to remember. I was like, what is the book called? But it's by Stacia Stark, and honestly, I'm actually listening to the audiobook right now. In the book, basically, they live in a society where, like, I guess everyone is kind of born with powers, but they're supposed to give their powers to the gods, right? Like when they're born. And so the babies are put through this, like, magic thing, I guess, where the gods will, or the people in charge of the city or whatever, will take the kid, partially will take some of the kid's powers and give it to the gods. Well, for some reason, her powers were never taken. And it's very unique because you're like, what is going on? Now, mind you, when I believe when they turn like, when the people in this world turn like 25 or something, I don't remember the age, or 18, they go through like this like age coming of age like test. And during the coming of age test, if you get caught with hidden powers, then you basically are like unalived, right? Or like, well, your whole family is unalived, as well as probably you as well. Or maybe I'm like only like a few chapters into the book, or they are like taken and like put in jail. I don't remember, but basically she finds out, well, she knows that she has powers like that no one really knows about. Her family does, but like this is, of course the government doesn't know. And but her powers are like different. There's something about her that is just like different from the normal magic, right? And throughout the book, she finds, the main male character, and the main male character is supposed to help her figure out, like, go through her journey, and be, like, I guess, the heroine of the book, right? Like, she's supposed to be the savior, or the one who like exposes the society. But while she's, figuring out life, she realizes that the government basically lied to everyone. When the powers are taken from people, it's not going to a god. It's basically like all the people in power, all of the people in the government are taking everyone's powers and using it for themselves, which makes her really, really mad because there are so many situations where if people had their powers, family members would be alive, or life would be better, etc., etc. So I actually really like this. There is some fae story in there. So I believe, yeah, there's some fae story in there. So I really like it. And there's actually a second book now, apparently, but I'm still in the first one. So I'm really excited to, continue this series. You guys really love like fae type of books. Highly recommend this one. A book that I've been seeing literally all over my TikTok, and I'm like, maybe I should read this book, is Lightlark. I believe Lightlark is by Alex Lester or something like that. And yeah, she literally pops up on all my like social media, and people rave about this book. I believe there's a second book now, but I haven't read the first book at all. I honestly don't really even know what the book is about because I haven't looked too much into it, but a lot of people talk about it, so I'm like, maybe I should check it out. I believe, from what I remember in the synopsis, it's like a girl goes back to like her home hometown or home city, I don't know, and she has to compete, and like through a competition you get some sort of freedom, maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. But it looks good. Okay, I looked at the cover. I like the cover. I know you shouldn't judge a book by a cover, but I do. Okay, I really do. It looks good. And because everyone hypes it up on social media, I'm like, okay, maybe I should really read that book, you know? Now, Tessa Bailey came out with a new book this year. I read her book, I would believe it was called like One Summer It Happened, like a couple of years ago, or maybe last year. I don't remember. But it was a really good book. I thought it was really cute. And like I know, okay, I probably am contradicting myself. Like I'm not a huge fan of like normal romance book. You know what I mean? Like it needs to have some sort of magic or fae, witchy stuff. Like it needs to have some sort of like magic in it usually. But I'll make an exception to a couple certain books, especially if there's like the right plot or if it's heartwarming and lighthearted. I'm okay sometimes. So Tessa Bailey, when I read her, it happened one summer. I actually really liked it. I thought it was really cute, especially with like the popular, social media girl moves to like the middle of nowhere and falls in love with a fisherman. I'm like, okay. I think this book is kind of cute because I guess like it's kind of like small town love. I guess like the female main character when she was a kid, probably like a teenager or something, ends up falling in love with like the good-looking guy in her small hometown, right? And of course, everyone likes him. He's good-looking, right? But I guess there's the fallout. He ends up leaving the town. She stays in her small winery family winery town and he leaves and becomes like a professor, I guess. But then he comes back, right? He comes back to the small town during his sabbatical, I guess. Although, why is he in sabbatical? Because aren't you supposed to be like usually sabbaticals for like people in their 60s or something? Like, usually professors take sabbaticals when they're like much later in their career, right? I don't know. I guess he's in his sabbatical. I'm assuming they're like in their early 30s, maybe. And he comes to his small winery hometown to write a book while he's on sabbatical. And I guess he changed a lot. Like he's not like how he used to be when you were like a kid, which makes sense. But he's just really grumpy. And of course, the main character, has a very bubbly personality. And she's like, what the heck happened to this guy? He's not like how I remembered. And then they kind of have like this like rom-com, um, I guess not enemies to lovers, but like complicated, like grumpy man, bubbly girl troped type of book. It's supposed to be steamy, kind of like what her previous books are. So I'm kind of really excited. I feel like I might like this one. I hope I do. I can see this book becoming a movie though, or at least like something like a Netflix movie or a Hallmark movie. I don't know. But like honestly, I haven't watched a Hallmark movie since I was like 10, but like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of vibe. Honestly, I feel like it's such a like holiday cozy winter book. So I'll probably read it. The last book in my TBR list is Sinner's Isle by Angela. I actually found out about Sinner's Isle while I was walking through my local bookstore and I saw that there was like a Latin author. I think she's a Latin author. And I thought, oh my god, there is a Latin author with like a magic fantasy type of book? Sign me up. Apparently, based on what I remember, apparently in the book, in the synopsis, there's a female main character named Rosa, right? And Rosa, she's basically trapped in this island where all the other beautiful witchy girls live. And I'm assuming she's might be witchy too, like she's a witch or something. But on this island, like the society, they basically are terrified of witches. And so they all put like these witches on this island to trap them there. But they're also used by like greedy, wealthy people, greedy, wealthy men in the book. Not surprised. So she's about to turn 18, right? And I guess when you're like 18 in this book, you are like open for offering, if you know what I mean. So she's like, oh heck no, no one is touching me. So she decides she wants to escape. And during this parallel time, I guess the main male character, who's supposed to be like the prince of pirates, ends up being attacked. I'm assuming like his ship gets attacked, and he ends up getting stranded on this island. And he's like, what the heck? Why I'm stuck in this island now, you know? And so then, of course, I believe his name is Mariano, and Rosa end up having this like love love and hate relationship, enemies to lover type of relationship, and they're both just trying to escape this island. And I'm like, okay, sign me up, witches. Island, Prince of Pirates, and a Latin author. Yeah, sign me up. That is what I'm going to be reading. I believe Spotify actually has the audiobook, which I'm really excited about. Girl, the moment I found out that Spotify has audiobooks, I was freaking excited. Now, I'm still kind of confused though about like, is it, I believe you get like 15 hours of audiobooks per month if you have like pro premium plan. I think that's how it works. Let me know, what are you guys reading this cozy holiday season? And honestly, it doesn't even have to be this holiday. What are you reading this winter? What are you reading during your vacation? Let me know. Honestly, I feel like my TBR list just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but I'm okay with that. And I feel like because I'm an audiobook girly, like I love audiobooks, I go through books really fast because I could just listen to it in like 2-3 days and I'm done. And it's fat and it's actually better for me to like remember the books that way versus like reading it. But I'll still read like books. Honestly, listening to audiobooks is still reading technically, so don't judge me. Let me know, what are you guys reading this winter season, this cozy season during your vacation? Whatever, let me know. And if you have any book suggestions that I should check out, definitely comment them. And I hope you guys are enjoying my series and take care of your health. Stay warm, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Shoulder, but I'll be grateful just to hold you, 'cause I love to spend time with such a dime. My vision's too far to mention, so I'll just ask the simple